Thank you for checking out our channel. Just so you know, if you are looking for affordable and quality housing, you can always check out our website www.az-housing.com. It will be in description. How does corporate housing work? The business world is becoming more and more globally orientated. From SMEs to the biggest corporations, cross-border collaboration and international trade mean that an increasing number of people find themselves traveling for work purposes. In fact, revenue from business travel is expected to reach $1.7 trillion by 2022, with over 28% of all travel and tourism revenue coming from corporate travelers. All of these travelers, of course, require suitable accommodation. Accommodation is something else that has been revolutionized by technology and business innovation, giving travelers more options in the 21st century than ever before. Increasingly, those traveling for work are considering corporate housing as a viable alternative to the usual faceless hotels and guesthouses. However, despite the increasing popularity of this short-term housing, there are still many travelers that are unsure about what exactly corporate housing is and how it works. When people hear corporate housing, they naturally assume that this kind of accommodation is explicitly for a business clientele, but this is not necessarily the case. Corporate housing offers fully furnished properties aimed at those making medium to long-term stays. Of course, this makes them ideal for those working in a particular city or location over a few months, and indeed they are often rented by corporations. They are also highly suitable for the leisure traveler, especially those who need to stay in a certain place for more than just a few days. What's more, an increasing number of people worldwide are discovering the advantages of remote working, which means a holiday apartment may also need to serve as a place of work. Once again, corporate housing fills this gap perfectly. So what exactly is corporate housing? Defining corporate housing is fairly straightforward. The term essentially refers to any type of accommodation that offers a fully furnished environment, with extras such as kitchen facilities and home entertainment aimed at those making longer-term stays. The corporate aspect of the term simply refers to the fact that this kind of housing is primarily used by companies to house employees traveling for overseas projects or secondments in order to provide a better living environment and save the cost of hotel bills. Many employers, and indeed employees, also find that this kind of stable and private environment is much more conducive to a productive trip. However, whilst it may initially have been targeted at company employees, more recently, corporate housing has been sought by all manner of travelers, including vacationers, students, and those who need a short-term rental before making a permanent move to an area. These properties come fully stocked with everything a person could need to live comfortably. This includes facilities for cooking and cleaning, home entertainment, comfortable furnishings, and completely private living space. It should also be noted that corporate housing comes in a variety of sizes, styles, and formats. For example, a solo traveler can find themselves a small studio, close to the financial district of a big city like London or New York, whilst larger groups, perhaps department teams, can be housed in larger suburban properties that offer plenty of space for remote working. Costs. How does corporate housing compare to traditional accommodation? One of the most frequently asked questions is invariably what corporate housing will cost and how it compares to traditional hotels when it comes to cost efficiency. Of course, as with any accommodation, the cost will depend on the location, the duration of the stay, and the size of the property, among other things. For example, corporate housing is, of course, likely to be more expensive than renting an unfurnished flat, but will provide a great deal more, so is often actually a better bet in terms of value for money. Of course, a single occupancy studio will be much cheaper than a larger 2 or 3 bedroom property. The location also has a major impact on price. City center real estate is notoriously higher in cost than that of the suburbs, regardless of the accommodation format. However, once again, cost and value are not synonymous. Whilst city center living may cost a little extra, it also reduces the cost of travel for those that would otherwise need to commute and offers a great deal more by way of amenities than would be found in more remote locations. Another factor affecting the price will be the duration of stay. Many corporate housing providers offer daily, weekly and monthly rates with savings offered for longer stays. There is also the question of whether a property offers any enhanced amenities, as there will inevitably be a charge for additional conveniences such as parking spaces, room cleaning or concierge services. All in all, the cost can vary hugely and travelers are advised to consider their individual requirements so that they may get a better idea of what their budget will be. In any case, most travelers will find that corporate housing offers substantially better value for money over the long term than even an average hotel. Who uses corporate housing? The largest demographic of corporate housing users are those relocating, making up 33% and 31% of the client base in the US and Canada, respectively. This category generally describes individuals testing out new neighborhoods during the sale of their current house or their search for a new one. Corporate housing allows these prospective tenants to test out a neighborhood prior to committing it. Are you wondering how to find a job in another state before moving there? Then know that you can explore your options without any risk. Additionally, while relocating executives make up the bulk of corporate housing occupants, corporate housing appeals to professionals in various industries, including government, military, insurance, emergency, project, training, consulting, technology, financial, and more. However, the clientele isn't limited to professionals. Corporate housing has also become a popular choice for interns, students, travelers, or even individuals seeking a temporary housing arrangement while their home is being renovated. Why choose corporate housing? For stays that extend beyond a short visit, usually a minimum of 30 days, corporate housing can be your home away from home. And, living in a small hotel room can start to feel restrictive quite quickly. When you're away for extended periods of time, you want to experience the same conveniences you do in your own house: laundry, homemade meals, amenities, etc. In addition to a washer, dryer, and a fully equipped kitchen, corporate housing can also offer gym access, pool access, internet, television, grocery delivery, housekeeping services. Most corporate apartments have all their fees included in the price, including utilities, telephone service, cable, internet, washer, dryer. Say goodbye to hidden fees and additional charges. Moreover, you can enjoy the luxury and ease of a hotel without the hefty costs. A corporate apartment is the best of both worlds and an optimal option for an extended stay. What is the difference between corporate housing and furnished housing? When looking for housing beyond the standard realm of hotels, there are usually plenty of options available. But what is the distinction between corporate housing and furnished housing? Firstly, furnished housing can cater to shorter stays, with weekly or even daily rates, as opposed to, generally, longer-term use of corporate housing. The differences, however, don't end there. For example, we can look at Airbnb as a standard furnished housing option. Standards. The vagueness of furnished housing is indicative of the difference in experience when compared to corporate housing. Furnished can signify a partially or fully furnished living space. There is no uniform standard, which also applies to the house rules. As a resident of various landlords' homes, you are subject to their rules without specific guidelines for all properties to follow. Liability. The regulation regarding companies like Airbnb is still murky. Should a problem arise, there is no precedence to offer a sense of security to either party, as opposed to corporate housing, which has an established and recognized business model. Legal restrictions. Viewed as a short-term form of accommodation, Airbnb is subject to rental laws. For any stays less than 30 days, guests must pay a hospitality tax, as if it were a hotel lodging. After 30 days, they are subject to rental laws. Corporate housing is under the jurisdiction of real estate law, which provides tenants and owners more protection. Environment. Unlike corporate housing, Airbnb offers the option to stay in the homes of landlords that still reside on the premises, sometimes sharing the space. This welcomes more instability in the ambiance, whereas corporate housing offers total privacy. The choice between corporate and furnished housing, however, largely depends on the type of experience you're interested in. Furthermore, the type of traveler you are plays a significant role in this decision as well. How do you find corporate housing? Now you know the answer to what is a corporate house, but how do you go about finding the right place for you? As with any component of traveling, you can easily conduct an online search. You'll undoubtedly find a lot of housing options, but it can quickly become overwhelming. Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.